Fans, welcome to Ray Kinsland Stadium on the campus of Cherokee High School up here on Big Cove Road as we're getting ready for a great Friday night Swain County showdown. Hi, everybody. Gary Ayers along with Coach Rod White. Toby Burrell is here. Joe Holt is here. And the whole Maroon Devil Network crew on a warm, muggy Friday night, just when we thought the weather was going to get cooler. Well, today, hey, temperatures in the 80s came back, and we're ready for Friday night football as we're looking out toward the Conalefty River and, of course, the Grand Stadium that is one of the best in anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and that's Ray Kinsland Stadium, home of the Braves here at Cherokee High School. Our Maroon Devils, of course, coming off a last-second win. It was a fantastic win last week over Hayesville. We blocked an extra point, and we got the job done, winning by 1. Meanwhile, the Cherokee Braves had a blowout game last week as they took care of the Carolina Sports Academy 57-0. So they had a cruising win last week, while our Maroon Devils really had a tough contest with the Yellow Jackets of Hayesville. But, Coach, coming in tonight, hey, you can't go by what happened last week, as you know. We've had a week to hopefully get better, correct some things, but so have the Cherokee Braves as they're coming in with a couple of losses this year. They lost their season opener to North Buckham 24-21, and they also lost to Smoky Mountain earlier in the season as well. But they're the defending state 1A champs, and until somebody knocks them off, they're still the defending 1A state champs, and we've got to recognize that, don't we?
Yeah, until they get beat in the playoffs, if it goes that far for them, or until there's if they make it all the way into the championship game again, yeah, they're the state champions until a new one is crowned. But as you were saying earlier, this is a Smoky Mountain Conference, and
yes.
So all bets are off.
Anything can happen, as we know. Anytime you suit up, as we saw just a couple of weeks ago, of course, a big showdown between Robbinsville and Murphy that had a lot of implications in conference play. Besides our game tonight, coming up another conference play, it's going to be Andrews at Murphy, and that's, of course, a big showdown as last week a 19-point loss to Rosman. Didn't do a whole lot for Andrews with Murphy, but the Andrews Wildcats trying to keep their feet on the ground and get things done. Also, another conference game tonight, Rosman playing at Robbinsville, and mistakes really cost Robbinsville in their conference opener against Murphy, giving up 4 turnovers in the 13-point loss. And, Coach, we've talked about turnovers so many times that every time you have one turnover, your chances of winning go down. You start having 2, 3, and 4, your chances of winning go really down. So you got to hang on to the football, and that's going to be a big key, I think, here tonight.
You know, it is for any time you're in a ball game of this magnitude. You can get away with it when you're playing against lesser opponents, but if everything else is even out there on that field, you start turning the ball over, mishandling the ball, and sometimes you don't even have to turn it over. Just mishandling it at the line of scrimmage, you lose downs, and it puts you in very poor field position. And interceptions, big part of the game. As many times as everybody's trying to throw the football now. So hanging on to the football, securing it, sustaining drives, even if you score or not, but changing field position, it's huge.
It really is. And talking about another key coming into this ball game here tonight, we're looking, of course, if we look back to last year, we don't like to because Cherokee came to town and kind of manhandled us at Swain County Memorial Stadium. But this is a different year. We're playing here at Cherokee. Key in the game, 2 new quarterbacks. Of course, Ty Mintz went on down. He's playing down at Kennesaw State. They're nationally ranked in 1AA football. Of course, our Maroon Devils with a new quarterback as well. Damian Lossy is on the scene, while Cherokee is turning to Bobby Crow. So 2 new quarterbacks that I think have had a lot of on-the-job training, Coach, this year because they haven't started until this year. And that's a key, I think, for both teams here tonight is the play of their respective quarterbacks.
Yeah, it goes right back to what we were talking about, handling the football, taking care of the football, knowing what you can do and can't do. I haven't seen Cherokee all that much, just been reading about them a whole lot. The things that you read about with Mr. Crow is that he handles the football very well.
Yes.
And watching our quarterback. He's done a great job here recently of doing everything he can to try to win a football game. And sometimes he's going to take chances, but you about got to have that at this point in time.
You really do. Anytime you're starting a sophomore quarterback like Damian, he's coming in totally fresh, but he's getting better week by week from what we have seen on the football field, and that's really the litmus test is what you're going to be doing on Friday night. And we saw him do some good things last week. He likes to run the football. He's very good at it. Of course, Bryce Swain in the backfield runs the football very well. Also, as Bryce coming in, 477 yards on 90 carries, 7 touchdowns. But on the other side of the ball, the Cherokee Braves with a good running back as well. Big kid, Isaiah Evans, 210-pound senior, 6 touchdowns, 511 yards. So we've got the quickness with Bryce Swain, and Cherokee's got the power in their backfield with the big Isaiah Evans.
Yeah, reading about the Evans player, watching his stats increase week by week, and the things he's been doing. He's been putting on a show. He's who they're going to depend on with this running game 100%. We know that. Quarterback's going to run with it some. We know that. But they're going to make sure that the ball gets in his hands and that he tries to make something happen for his team.
You know, one guy I looked at down there a minute ago as the teams are warming up. Of course, we're all familiar with Coach Kent Briggs, a super fine guy doing a great job here, formerly at Western Carolina University. But an old friend down there, and he had on a gold jersey. I wanted to go down and talk to him about switching colors, and that's John Mitchell. Of course, John was such a great running back at Swain County High School. He's in our Athletic Hall of Fame, and he's just a fine guy any way you look at it. And I hate to see him on the other side, but hey, that happens too.
Yeah, Johnny Buck's been a fixture with them here since Coach Briggs got here, maybe even a little bit before. And he likes it up here. He likes being around these players up here. And Johnny could fit in anywhere. We all know him, and he could coach just about anywhere. But I think he's found himself up here, and he's found his responsibility for this team.
And he was a great player at Swain County High School back in the day, as we all know. Fans, stay tuned. We've got more coming up, but right now we're going to take a 2-minute timeout, so stay with us as we'll return in 2 minutes here on the Maroon Devils Network.
Hello, Maroon Devil fans. This is Michael Watson with Farley Insurance, asking you to come out and support our Maroon Devils during this upcoming sports year. I know what it's like to wear the maroon and white and the dedication to excellence it takes to reach your goals. Like so many of the teammates I had the honor of playing with, together we accomplished some great things. I have taken the same dedication and lessons I've learned from the playing fields with me to Farley Insurance to become the best insurance agent I can be, and then some. Whether it's home, auto, life, health, business, or commercial, Farley Insurance is dedicated to making sure we take care of you and your family. Come be a part of the largest independently owned insurance company in the Smoky Mountain Conference, located at 264 U.S. Highway 19, Bryson City, North Carolina. Numbers 828-366-2555. Again, 828-366-2555. I'm Michael Watson with Farley Insurance, your hometown insurance agent. And go Big Maroon.
Fans, welcome back on this Friday night as the Cherokee Brave High School Marching Band just finished up with the national anthem as the sun is going down. We're joined by the assistant coaches, of course, here in the booth. And by the way, if you're wondering, why do things sound a little bit weird up there tonight? Well, it's because we're in a booth where the windows don't open. At Swain County High School, of course, our windows open. We have the sound of the crowd, the sound of the players, the sound of the game. I mean, it's just so if you wonder why we're sounding a little bit strange here tonight, there are no windows open. We're in a kind of a soundproof booth almost here at Cherokee High School. And, Coach, I tell you, it just feels a little strange not being out there where you can hear what's going on.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like prison when you they won't let you open the windows, but no, the windows don't open, so we won't be able to hear a whole lot. But yeah, it'd be just like watching you on a big screen TV, pretty much from up here.
It really is. We can depend on Joe Holt, of course, running the camera here tonight. And talking about the camera, I know Emma Dingle had a chance to sit down and talk some Maroon Devil football with head coach Neil Blankenship earlier this week. So let's see what Emma and Neil had to talk about here on the Maroon Devils Network.
Hello, Maroon Nation. This is Emma Dingle for the Maroon Devils Network. I'm here with head football coach Neil Blankenship. Coach, our Devils emerged victorious after a very tight contest with the Yellow Jackets last week, with a blocked extra point attempt giving the Devils a 1-point lead at the end of the fourth quarter. Can you tell us your thoughts about the close game?
Well, as we're fortunate to win it. I thought Hayesville outplayed us in a lot of ways. We had too many penalties, I thought, that cost us field position. We had some bobbles. We had some bobble snaps and some miscues there with that. And I just thought they outplayed us, and I didn't think our defense tackled real well either. So we were real fortunate to get out with a win. I hope it was a lesson learned by our team that you got to prepare for everybody, because like I said, I thought they were the better football team that night, and we were just fortunate enough to get a win. I'll take a win, but I hope our kids learned a lesson on that win, and we've had a better week of practice so far, so I'm hoping that's starting to sink in with them, how important practice is.
This week we will travel to Cherokee to face the state champions, the Cherokee Braves. What can we expect from the Braves on Friday?
Well, the Braves are extremely athletic. Their quarterback is a good quarterback, throws the ball well. They have an outstanding running back. And he runs the ball extremely hard. He's hard to tackle. He's being recruited, by colleges and stuff. So he's a good running back. They've got great receivers. They have two of the best receivers in the conference that they're going to get the ball to, and they can go the distance at any time. Up front, they're good up front. So it's going to be a tough test up there, and it's always tough to play up there. It's a rival game, so those games are always fun. So I'm excited about it. We've had a great week of practice, and looking forward to the game.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck. This is Emma Dingle reporting for the Maroon Devils Network. And now, back to the pregame show.
Fans, welcome back, and thanks to Emma Dingle and Coach B, as everybody likes to call him, Neil Blankenship, as he's coming in, of course, up here to the Cherokee Brave Ray Kinsland Stadium. And Coach, talking about Ray Kinsland, talking with some friends here at Cherokee before the game, we want to send our thoughts and prayers and concerns out for one of the best guys I've ever been around, and that's Mr. Ray Kinsland, who has done PA here at Cherokee High School for more years, I think, than maybe I've been alive. I mean, he's just been an outstanding contributor and member of the Cherokee Nation here, and we just hope and pray he gets better. He's having a tough time right now with his health.
Yeah, Ray's been a friend to the Swain County program for as long as I can remember. From when I came in 1979, he was one of the first people you met, although his connections mostly were with the tribal schools up here.
Right.
He still had a connection with us simply because he did so many things for our program. If you needed buses and things of that nature, and he was always looking out for our program as well as this one. And you couldn't find a better fellow who enjoyed and appreciated high school athletics.
Absolutely, and I know he had relatives that also attended Swain County schools, as he did here in Cherokee. And you're right, of course, he kind of ran the Cherokee Boys Club for so many years and has just been such a a figure for the entire Swain County area, both on and off the reservation. And anybody who has known him, I think, thinks the world of him. I know back in the old days at the old stadium, he was there every Friday night at home games doing PA, and you just miss that presence.
Yeah, that voice of his,
Yeah.
you can't replace that. You really can't.
You're right.
You can try, but you just can't replace it because he had that steady voice coming over that public address system, and everybody knew who it was. There was no doubt. And but I always enjoyed sitting down and talking with him when you got an opportunity. Anytime you came to do any type of business with him, he wanted to take you to lunch or something of that nature. And it was just as much fun to sit and listen to Ray tell tales. And, and ask him questions about his business ventures and things, and he could tell you some of the craziest stories about, and you knew they had to be true because you could just see it happening to him.
Right. He's, again, just an outstanding person, and our very best going out to Mr. Ray Kinsland, one of a kind, truly. Fans, stay tuned. We'll come back and talk more about tonight's Swain County Championship. We like to call it that for so many years, between our Maroon Devils and, of course, the hometown Cherokee Braves. We'll be back in 2 minutes right here on the Maroon Devils Network. Fans, welcome back here on this Friday night. One thing we want to pass along to our fans that came down from the North Carolina High School Athletic Association this week. Coaches, you probably saw this as well due to the Hurricane Florence that caused damage down in the eastern part of the state. The North Carolina High School Athletic Association Board of Directors has approved some changes. And basically, 1 week after the regular season here in high school football, there will be an open date, especially for the teams here in the western North Carolina mountain area. The last regular season play date will be November 9. Seeding for the playoffs will take place on Saturday, November 10. That's changed from November 3rd. And then the first round of the state playoffs will begin November 16 and will play all the way out to the state championships December 14 and 15. So, Coach, we might even have a week off between our last regular game and the playoffs.
Yeah, and see, a lot of those teams down in that part of the area, that was the beginning of their conference schedule, and some of them were already a game into it. So they have to play these games to determine championships and won-loss records. So it's a big deal, and it's a good thing that they did that. I'm glad they took their time and didn't do anything rash to begin with, and they just made a judgment call on it, and I think it's a good one. It'll work out good for everybody that way.
I think you're right. That'll give a lot of teams up here in the mountains who didn't suffer any damage from from Hurricane Florence, a chance to heal up a little bit maybe before the first week of the playoffs. And then, of course, we'll get ready to go the following week. But the teams down east, of course, they did struggle with some damage to many facilities down there, and they're still struggling to try to recover from Hurricane Florence. So hopefully they'll be ready to go 2 weeks, actually, following the final regular season game. But, Coach, it's hard to look that far down the road because, as a coach, the only game you're concerned about is this one right here.
Yeah, and our hats. My heart goes out to those folks down there.
Yes.
Being down in that part of the country a little bit, visiting off and on down around Jones County, and then seeing that place underwater like that down there. But, like you said, our concentration's got to be on what's going on up here in the mountains.
Oh, no doubt about it. Of course, our Maroon Devils coming in. I know one guy who's not going to be playing tonight. He hasn't played a whole lot, number 81, Brandon Salinas. He was on crutches when we saw him come into the stadium tonight. So everybody else, it looks like, pretty much healthy and ready to go. So, Coach, I think we're ready to go. I know Cherokee will be. They look at this game as a huge rivalry, as do we, because there are so many players who have relatives that kind of go both ways. I mean, we've got a lot of folks on our team from the reservation. Obviously, Cherokee does. So there are a lot of connections between Swain and Cherokee high schools.
There always have been, and there's always that rivalry.
Yeah.
And, I remember a time and date where people's jobs got threatened by where their kids went to school, where they either went to the reservation school here or they attended our school system in the regular part of the public school system in Swain County. So, there's a lot of good feelings. A lot of people are proud of both sides, and then there's a lot of ill feelings. And that's always existed. I don't think – so, I've talked about this several times with the coaches over the past, but some of the big games we've been in with Cherokee, I know that you spend a whole week in getting phone calls from people, and some good and some bad, and you never knew what was going to be said over that phone. But, especially if both teams were pretty good.
Oh, no question. I remember back in the days when Scooter McCoy was the head coach here, and also the late Mutt DeGraffenried Reed was the head coach here. We really had some head-banging games, and it goes all the way back even to when Bob Marr was head coach up here with Bob Henry. We've had some knockdown, drag-out contests. Yeah,
it's always been interesting, no matter where the programs are, because it seems like that if you win, whoever wins this football game, it's not only bragging rights. You can hang your hat on that for the rest of the season, the rest of the year.
Yes.
And then, because I'm sure that's exactly the way Cherokee has felt about it. That game against us last year when they took it over from the halftime and proceeded to beat us up all the way through the state championship, they're probably proud of both those games, but ours ranks right up there with that state championship.
Oh, no doubt about it. Last year was a 45-7 win for the Braves. As you mentioned, they came out and returned that kickoff for a touchdown in the second half. Then they hit a couple of big passes deep on our secondary, and they really had that big play in the second half that turned that game around. Now, of course, Ty Mintz, one of the orchestrators of the big play offense that they threw at us last year, is gone. Now his little brother is still here, though, and he's one of the best receivers in the mountains, Cade Mintz, Coach. So obviously our secondary is going to be tested with his ability tonight.
Yeah, he has as much athletic ability, I think, as his brother had. Now, I don't think he's got the size.
Right.
And he doesn't have the experience yet, but he is as athletic as his brother was.
He really is. He's a good receiver, just a good player all the way around. Now, you look at some of the size up front. The Braves are blessed with some size. Some of their linemen up front, just to give you some size ideas, 6'2", 255, 6 feet, 250, 5'10", 270 pounds, 6 feet, 290, and 5'9", 270. And that's something that Cherokee has really never had a problem with in their linemen. They've always had good size with their linemen, and they've always had quick, skill people, and that's been going on for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, it's always that battle of up front in the trenches that decides this football game. Really, no matter what kind of team you bring up here, you could be very athletic, but if you don't win the line of scrimmage, you're in for a long night.
Hey, that's what it's all about, and we're gonna see which team can dominate that line of scrimmage here tonight as we're getting closer to kickoff. Keep it right here. We're going to take one more break. This 2-minute timeout down the line, then we'll come back and get kickoff underway here on a beautiful Friday night. Stay tuned. We'll be back in 2 minutes here on the Maroon Devils Network. Fans, welcome back. Friday Night Football is alive and well here at Ray Kinsland Stadium, again on the Cherokee Braves campus, as we're seeing the captains down there with the toss of the coin, all the Cherokee students down there with their tunnel, the Maroon Devil students down there with their tunnel for their players to run through. And, Coach, that's always a good feeling, and I know those players like that. They like that attention, and that gets them jacked up, doesn't it?
Well, it's any time that you can support, as these young men come out there, it's the adrenaline's pumping.
Yep.
They're already been out there warming up. They've been sweating. They're ready to get on with this thing, and just seeing fan support is what it's all about.
Talking about that, we want to say thank you to Farley Insurance with Michael Watson, doing a good job, of course, naming the Maroon Devils Player of the Week. And what a player it was. Charlie Lambert kind of saved the day, Coach. You hate to look at one play as being a big play, but if there was, that was a big play when he blocked the extra point that was the difference in that win over Hayesville.
Yeah, he stated in the newspaper, he just saw a gap, took it, and got airborne and blocked the thing. So, I mean, and that's as simple as the game is sometimes. It's just that simple. You see something, you react to it, and I'm sure he looks back on it now, and it was pretty much a reaction more than it was something that he had spent a long time thinking about.
Outstanding work, because who knows what could have happened if they had hit the extra point. We might have been going to overtime, and who knows what can happen when you get into overtime. Sometimes the team with the momentum can strike quickly and make it a bad night for you.
Yeah, I always hated overtime. But, I mean, we got into a lot of overtime games during my little tenure there over the 30 years there at Swain County. But we got into some big ones, and we won some and we lost some. But we got into some big overtime games, and it was a battle of wills when it came down to those overtime.
It really is, because, as in all 1A schools, you have so many players like we do. Like we have 8 players that play both ways. And you start getting down into the fourth quarter and overtime, no matter what condition you're in, you're getting worn down.
Oh, yeah, and it used to be that if it's a non-conference game, you could make the decision before the game between head coaches whether or not you were going to play it off. And I'll never forget my first head coaching ball game. Boris Dietz on the other side of the field there at Smoky Mountain, and he came out there and he said something that it was really good, because I'd already made up my mind. I didn't want I wanted overtime. tackle.
Uh-oh.
And I'm afraid that may be, let's see, it may be holding on the edge here.
He picked it back up really quick. Let's hope they wave it off if it's against our defense. But the Cherokee Braves are walking backwards.
Yeah, it looked like a clean tackle from here.
It did.
He did a good job reading it. And so far on these two plays, we're doing a better job at the line of scrimmage. I hope it stays that way of defeating blocks and taking advantage of what they're giving us right there, because they're trying to string this wide side of the field with these receivers out here. And we did a good job of adjusting to motion both times in the secondary by rotating over.
And talking about motion, that penalty, a false start against Cherokee, so they back up 5. So all of a sudden they're looking at 3rd down and 11 after a good first down.
Right. So now we'll see. Here again, they put their two wide receivers out here. Nobody's probably going to motion this time.
And this time the quarterback, Crow, is looking to the right side, rolling, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield. Outstanding play again, coming in there with a huge tackle. That looked like big Jacob Langston.
It sure did, and Jacob did something at the line of scrimmage right then that if he'll continue to do all night long is before he took off, he made sure of what he was seeing, and that was good contained, because last week he had a hard time with that against Hazel. They kept getting to the edge on him, and I think he did a much, much better job then of picking his point of attack.
Now Cherokee is going to have to punt on 4th down and about 25 yards. Dropping back is going to be our Bryce Swain. Mintz is going to be back to punt, and we've got a whistle, and we're going to have a timeout called by the Cherokee Braves here. They're not sure about what they're going to be doing here on 4th down, but you've got to think they're going to punt it away, but apparently they did not have the right folks on the field.
Now, they only had 10 players on the field. They were having a little bit of personnel problems right there, and so I'm sure that they'll take – you got about to take a timeout right there, because you don't want to put yourself in any more of a deficit. And I know Coach Briggs didn't really want to take that timeout, but you don't want 10 out there playing against 11 if you can help it.
That's exactly right. This early in the game, when that momentum can just turn on a dime sometimes, as Mintz will drop back into punt formation now with 10:32 to play. We're in the first quarter, just underway as it's starting to get just a little dark here. We're up on Big Cove Road, as you know, where Cherokee High School is located, a beautiful campus here. Bryce Swain will sit back just inside Maroon Devil territory. Mintz getting the snap, kicks it high, big, deep punt. This one's going to go over the head of Mintz, and we'll take a small Cherokee roll, and we'll be blown dead at the 23-yard line, where we'll have it 1st down and 10. So pretty good punt there by Ty Mintz.
Yeah, Bryce needed to be a little bit deeper, and he realized it after the ball was hit, but he did a pretty smart thing. You never want to see the ball hit the ground and roll that much on a good deep punt like that. You want a chance to return it, but you don't want to be running backwards trying to catch that thing either. And if you can come up on it and settle, then that's one thing. But he booted it over his head, so he'll back up the next time. He'll try to keep it in front of him.
Here we go, 1st down and 10. Maroon Devils first time with the football, this time wide to the right side. It's going to be Jacob Langston. Got twins over here on the left side. And this time in the shotgun, it's going to be our quarterback, of course, Damian Lossy. And it's going to be Bryce right beside him. Damian's going to run to the left side. Good seam over here at the 27-yard line, a pickup of almost 5 yards.
I like it. I like what we're doing with him. This is his kind of game. Now, I don't know how this thing's going to turn out tonight, but I'm telling you, he's good up under. He is good up under. Don't get me wrong. But he's more of a threat when he's got a chance to see that, and you can pull a lineman and put him out in front of him and let him make 1 or 2 cuts at the first level and at the second level, and he's going to make things happen.
That's what we saw on that play. This time we run the twins over to the wide side of the field. We're lined up at the 28-yard line. Same set. This time he's going to fake the handoff and run it again. But that's Damian Lossy again. Mm-hmm. Very close to a 1st down at the 31-yard line. We need 2 more. 3rd down and 2 coming up.
Now, this is an option play, and a lot of people need to know this out there, because we talked about this last week. He is actually reading defensive linemen when he ties up with the running back, when he ties up with Bryce. He's watching, and he's waiting to see what those defensive linemen and linebackers are going to be doing in the process.
And we got an injured player. Connor McCoy has helped off the field. He's not even putting hardly any weight on his leg there. Our certified athletic trainer, Kerry Powell, over there to work on him. But, boy, Connor didn't look good at all. We hope he's okay, but he's in some pain over there on the sideline right now.
Yeah, it looks like it may be an ankle, and 2 of our players just carried him completely off the field.
So it looks like our Maroon Devils going to line up now without him, 3rd down and 2. And now we're getting everybody set. Got a man in motion. That's going to be Ian Brooks. He lines up. And we've got some people moving around, Coach. They were not quite on the same page on that play.
No, Ian took a little bit of an early jump up into the line of scrimmage right there. So And that was great. It was good right there to get up underneath the center in short yardage situations like that. You don't want to be back there in that gun and something happened with the snap or whatever. Just get him on up underneath there. Coach Moore figuring it out right here. They put him up under, and they were going to run some kind of lead play there like we saw on the goal line last week.
By the way, our new lineman coming in the place of Connor McCoy is going to be Charlie Lambert. Again, our player of the week this week, named by Michael Watson at Farley Insurance. Here we go. Now we got third down and almost 8. Got a man in motion. Bryce Sain's going to get it on the jet sweep. Tries to turn the corner and does. Out across the 30. There's a penalty flag down. Maybe a holding call. He's just shy, Coach, I believe, of the first down. But, wow, it turned out to be a pretty good play.
Yeah, and nobody has the mark of where the ball ended up in case – but it's going to call holding, so.
Yeah, it's going to back us up, so we're going to have to run third down again. We were just a yard short. They spotted it about the 32. We only needed one more yard, but now we're going to back up near the, back inside the 20-yard line. All the way back at the, they're finally going to spot it at the 18. Third down and about 15 coming up. So, again, but a good jet sweep and had it going over here to the left side.
Mixing it up pretty good right now.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with what we're doing. We just we're not the kind of offense that can overcome a whole heck of a lot of penalties. So we may see a severe game right here and then punt the football.
That's what we did, Coach. Tried to run it to that right side over there with Ian for a couple of yards, and we're going to punt it now on fourth down and about 13. But you're right. 2 big penalties on that drive really hurt us.
Yeah, and, you hate to see that wagon wheel start turning because sometimes that can be epidemic, just like turnovers. But maybe it won't. Maybe that was just the first series jitters. So we'll see.
Both teams had some penalties on their first series. This punt is going to be going out of bounds right over the head of head coach Briggs down there. That's Thomas Allen punting it away. And now Cherokee's going to have it, though, in very good field position at the 45-yard line of Maroon Devil territory.
Yeah, and you notice the field position just moved right on down across to 50 in these 2 exchanges of offensive series here. So hopefully we can make some big defensive stands right here and either force them to punt the football or turn it over on downs now.
So now Cherokee with their second offensive series, 8:12 to play in the first quarter here on a partly cloudy Friday night. We're going to be on the road again next week. No, check that. Yeah, we're going to be on the road next week at Andrews if you're looking ahead. On the road over there. And we got the tight end moving on this side. Moving a little bit early over there for the Braves is going to be 32. Sterling Santa Maria jumping a little bit.
Yeah, he got a little early jump just like Ian did on our first possession. So we'll back them up and get it more out to midfield right here and see if we can't keep them down here.
You know, Coach, these players are jacked up, ready to go in this game just because it's Swain and Cherokee.
Oh, yeah, and they're not listening to a snap count very well, and they're struggling a little bit with that in their head. So.
Yep, got a lot of adrenaline pumping. This time it's going to be Mintz in motion. He blocks. They run to the right side, and running hard out of the backfield, out of the 44-yard line, is the big guy we were talking about, Isaiah Evans, their 210-pound senior. And just the way he runs, Coach, he runs with a lot of arms and legs and runs hard.
Yeah, they ran a wing T play out of that, pulling both guards, one to kick out and one to lead up in, good. They ran that play a lot last year. That was their favorite offensive running play out in the middle of the field during the course of the game last year.
This time they're going to have 3 wide, 2 on the wide side of the field, 1 down here on the short side, as Crow is going to be in the shotgun again. Turns and hands off. Evans left side, got those guards out in front of him again, and he rumbles down to the 40-yard line, which is going to bring up a 3rd down and 5. So, again, they like to pull those guards and lead Evans around, don't they?
Yeah, and this time they pulled the tackle from the backside, and I think it has to do with what gap has to be protected. They don't want to pull him if somebody is head up him because he can then give chase behind the blocker. So the tackle actually lined up a little deeper so he could get out on that particular play.
You're right. That was big 72 Isaiah Armorchain, 5'10", 270 pounds, leading the way. This time they fake the jet sweep. Crow back to throw, sets it up. Ty Mintz in the middle, and he's got all kinds of room. Down to the 20, down to the 15, down to the 10. And unless he stepped out of bounds, he did step out of bounds at the 2-yard line. But, Coach, that was a well-disguised play that faked the jet sweep and then found him on the screen.
Ran the screen underneath. just a regular screen, old school style, right over the middle. Get the back settled down and right in behind those linemen. Turn those defensive linemen loose, and then just get upfield and block level 2 and level 3. And they did a great job of it.
They really did. Mintz had some good running room. Now it's first down and goal to go from the 2-yard line. 6:46 to play. They line him up in the eye. And we got a penalty flag down. Evans tried to jump over the top, but the flag may back him up.
Yeah, I think it's on them. They either lined up offsides prior to the snap or somebody moved just as it was snapped. But they got in the power eye, got their offensive line splits foot to foot, packed everybody down in there with one split receiver out there and just tried to hammer it up in there and let him dive over.
Now they're going to bring 2 wide receivers in and probably spread it out a little more. Let's see what they do now. On second down, they're going to spot it at the 6-yard line. And so it's going to bring up a second down and goal from the 6-yard line. And, Coach, that's something you don't see as much anymore is the power I formation.
Yeah, you don't see it a whole lot, but these spread offenses, they have to have something that when they get it down there close and it's going to be tough yards and they know it is, that they can pack people in there and get some power up in the middle.
Well, this time they spread them out, 4 wide receivers. Crow is going to – no, he hands it off to Mintz, and Mintz tries to run the right side, kind of a wildcat formation, and he breaks enough tackles, Coach, and he finally makes it in the end zone. We stacked him up, but we didn't wrap him up.
No, we hit him at the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
And he literally carried us into the end zone. It was a wildcat set. They snapped it directly to him so that the ball wouldn't have to be handed off, and he just took it and cut it straight up in there and drove right through us.
Well, they have some fireworks going on literally as they shoot some fireworks up before the extra point. And now coming on to kick is going to be Rocky Peoples. And see if he can make it a 7-0 lead with 6:34 to play here in this first quarter. Crow, the holder. And the kick is up, and it's going to be good. So the Braves lead 7-0, 6:34 to go. Fans will be back after this 30-second timeout. Stay with us here on the Maroon Devils Network. Fans, welcome back live on a Friday night. Glad to have you listening in here on 94.1 FM and also 1590 AM, WBHN in Bryson City as well, of course, as we're on the internet on the Maroon Devils Network, showing you the video along with the audio. And, Coach, I guess if we're definite, sometimes the video is better than the audio, isn't it? So, anyway.
Yeah, I know people get tired of listening to us, Gary. Not you though, man. You've been around since the flood, the big flood, not the one.
Flood.
Yeah, and you've been doing this since I can remember, and it's one of those things that people gotten so accustomed to your voice over the radio. I enjoy listening to you do the Saturday games at Western wherever I can. I try to get find it and listen to it because I enjoy hearing you do it. I think you got 2 different voices though. You got one that's a Swain County voice, but then you got your Catamount voice. And you do. I swear. I believe you do. I believe you change accents once you get to Jackson County. Something happens to you.
I appreciate that, Coach. Here we go. This time our tight end lines up on the right side over there. Jacob Langston switches right, and we try to run it right. Oh, Damian runs into a lot of trouble. Leading the way up there up front is going to be 32 for the Braves, Sterling Santa Maria. And Coach, we just couldn't get them blocked off the line of scrimmage.
No, right then they literally had 9 people within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage right then, and we traded the tight end, and they're going to load that defensive line of scrimmage up as long as we get the quarterback underneath and we come out there with 2 tight ends and all that. They're going to pack them down in there just like we saw Hayesville do last week.
Oh,
Here they are again in another 5-man front. They're going to stay in that. as long as we got two backs back there and a tight end.
Oh, we dropped the football, and this time Damian hangs off, but he's going to be knocked backwards for a 5-yard loss back to the 30. Coming in there on the tackle for the Cherokee Braves is 55. That's Jack Lano. But again, Coach just couldn't get the snap together.
Yeah, he's trying. I think right now it's a little bit about timing, and we've seen that happen several times this year, this season, about the timing between the center and the quarterback. Either he's pulling his hands out too quick, or the center's hesitating with the ball split second. You got to remember that center stepping as he's snapping the ball.
You're right. He is on the move. This time Damian rolls to the right side. Got a man open down the sideline, and he's got it. Down to the 30, 25-20, and he's going to take it all the way to the house.
There
and the Maroon Devils are on the scoreboard.
There
what a shot down the sideline.
Play action pass. Got them all up on the line of scrimmage like that. The receiver made one cut and blew by the corner, and the corner knew he was hung out the moment it happened, because when Damian appeared with that football, you could almost see the desperation in that corner over there, because he was trying every way in the world to get back there, and Damian threw that ball right on the money. If he had thrown it anywhere else, it'd probably been incomplete or intercepted.
Perfect pass, and the guy who caught the touchdown, Hunter Call, is now going to come on and try to add the extra point. And what a great play, and what a great run after the catch by, again, number 8, Hunter Call, as he tries to boot up the extra point. And this one is going to be good. And, wow, just like that, Coach, we got a tie ball game, 7-7 with 5:08 to play in the first quarter. But that might be one of the best passes Damian's had all year.
Yeah, and you don't have to drive the football. If it takes big plays to beat them, then you're going to have to depend on big plays. You'd like to drive the football down through there and be able to dictate some things, but you got to be able to pull that rabbit out every now and then and hang it up like that, or they don't respect it.
That's
and
it.
When they start getting in 5 and 6 and 7 man fronts up there and committing that many people to the line of scrimmage, play action passes always catch their eyes are looking somewhere else, just like that corners was, and he had no idea that receiver had blown by him until he saw Damian appear with that ball, and it was too late.
Good call by offensive coordinator Jeff Marr over there, and again, that loosens up your defense when you throw it deep and burn your secondary. Then you got to respect that pass a little more as we get ready to kick it back to the Braves. So already a wide open 7-7 game, and still 5 minutes to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and Damian cut loose with that one. I'm real proud of seeing him throw a ball deep like that and hit somebody on stride and it be caught and collected and for a touchdown. We've been missing that all season.
Outstanding. Now Hunter Call, he's been a busy guy. Caught that touchdown pass, kicked the extra point. Now he kicks it deep, and this one is going to go all the way back to the 3 where Mintz picks it up, back out to the 15. He runs into traffic, and that's where he's dropped this time. He doesn't get anything extra.
Yeah, did a much better job this time when we got to him getting our bodies under control. You ain't got to just go down there and knock him out of his shoes, but you just got to get him down there and put your body on his body, and he can't go any further. But we've got to continue to do that, or he'll do what he did down here on the goal line and on the opening kickoff.
He is very capable, as now the Maroon Devils will have Cherokee pinned back inside. They're going to spot it at the 16-yard line. A much better situation for our defense than what we saw the first time when they had it up here near midfield after that first return by Mintz. So now Crow lines him up. He's in the shotgun. Turns, hands off to Evans, but there's in the backfield Jacob Langston. He's already been a busy man tonight.
Yeah, they left Jacob unblocked, and he settled his feet at the line of scrimmage, waited to see the handoff, didn't take off because the back went across the quarterback's face. He waited, and then when he cut back, he was there and made the play.
I'll tell you, Coach, you're kind of out of your element here tonight. We don't have as much of the instant replay here tonight, so hey, it's one and done, right?
One and done, and that's all right. When we're on the road, we got to sacrifice some things.
Hey, that's right. Joe Holt does a great job whether we're at home or on the road. Crow again in the gun, back to throw, and he's got his man Mintz again. Mintz brought down by Bryce Same at the 29-yard line. That's a first down for the Braves.
Yeah, it wasn't bad coverage. He just Crow did a great job of getting the ball over the linebacker's head, and we just couldn't get high enough up to get a hand on that ball, but he put it right over the top where only his receiver could get the football.
And again, Mintz, one of the best receivers in the mountains, 25 catches, 422 yards, 5 touchdowns. Last year, he had 47 catches, 1,129 yards, and 10 touchdowns. I mean, he's just that big play kind of guy.
Yeah, he's not afraid to go catch the football, and he's a big play kind of guy. He wants to make a big play.
Got a little coverage over here with the safety on the right side. They threw it deep on the left side. Oh, and they run under it, and they're going to score a big one. They come right back and score on a big pass play of their own. This one down there on the left sideline, going all the way to Blake Smith. And, Coach, we've already seen 2 huge touchdown passes.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a double move over there, and it froze our corner. And when he hesitated, our corner settled his feet, and then he turned on the jets and just blew right by him.
Again, number 15, Blake Smith with a big touchdown. We saw one from our own Hunter Call just a couple of minutes ago, literally. And now the Braves come right back and throw one down the field of their own as they try to line up for the point after to make it a 14-7 lead. So literally fireworks in the sky here and fireworks on the field. We're still in the first quarter, and right now we already have 21 points on the board with the Braves up 14-7. We'll take a 30-second timeout, and we'll be right back here on the Maroon Devils Network. Fans, welcome back. Glad to have you listening again here and watching on this Friday night on the Maroon Devils Network and on WBHN. But wow, I didn't expect this, Coach. 14-7. We still have 3:50 to play in the first quarter, and already 2 huge plays tonight, one for each team. But it's wide open.
Yeah, when you're airing it out like these last 2 series have been, it don't take long to put points on the board. And both throws were on the money.
Yes.
The receivers did great jobs of running routes and getting themselves open and catching the football and scoring with it.
Outstanding job, Hunter Call again for our Maroon Devils. And on the other side, Blake Smith, the senior wide receiver for the Cherokee Braves, who has 14 catches, and that's his 3rd touchdown on the season as well. But got to give some credit to the quarterbacks, as we've seen Damian Lossy, and, of course, for the Braves, Bobby Crow, put the football in the receiver's hands when they were in full stride now as we're getting ready for Bryce Swain to bring it back on the return.
Yeah, we'll see if it kicked the last one out of bounds over there on the far side and see what their approach to this thing is. I don't know whether or not they want him. They're wanting him to kick it over there, or it's coming off his foot wrong, but he's lined up to kindly kick it into that corner over there.
We saw Hayesville keep it away from Bryce most of the night last week, and it seems like that's what teams are doing. And he's aiming that one on the sideline. Goes out of bounds. That's good field position for us. But we like it when Bryce Swain has a chance to run it back because he is very capable.
Well, a lot of times you have to take what your kicker can do
yeah.
and use it as a strength for you. And if they feel like that they can't get the ball back, he can't get the ball far enough upfield to make it a real danger, then kick it in places where strange things can happen, and maybe you get a chance to get the football. It's not a bad strategy.
Yeah, sometimes those up men are not used to handling the football, are they, Coach, on those returns?
No, and a lot of times it'll die. It'll hit the ground and die, and it's a live football. And if your people are getting down the field and the return team doesn't pick it up and it doesn't go out of bounds, it's a live ball, and you can recover them.
Here we go. Got a different set this time. 4 wides, 1 back right behind Damian. This time he's under center, and the Braves have a bunch of guys up in the box here. And we've got a little, looks like some timing all wrong on that play. The ball is loose. Cherokee picks it up. They run it back to the 21-yard line. And, Coach, that play again, it was just off timing from the get-go.
I'm not sure what happened. I don't know whether the center, Brown, didn't snap it on time, or whether I couldn't tell whether Damian pulled his hands out. But it seemed like they sat there for a split second, and then the ball ends up fumbled around, and one of Cherokee's defensive linemen ends up with the football.
So a big tough play for our Maroon Devils here. Again, just some bad timing on that particular play as the backs, the quarterback, and the center seemed like we're not all on the same page.
See, I think it should be a penalty. I think that may be what the officials are discussing. If the ball was never snapped and we moved, I don't know why that if it was never snapped and we moved, it's a 5-yard penalty on us.
But it's
and
still our ball.
Yeah, and it's still our ball. And Coach Blankenship is arguing the point that, look, it should have been a penalty, but not a turnover.
I'm afraid he's not going to win the argument as the referee just turned his back and walked away, but now he's still talking it over. I'm not sure they have come up with a final decision here, Coach.
Yeah, they have. You can't.
Yep,
sometimes you can't. Once they've made that, they don't even know where the ball was originally. Nobody even spotted it. So
here we go. Crow handing off straight at the middle. It's Big Evans, and he's rumbling down to the 13-yard line. It's going to be a first down, Braves, as they are just coming right up the gut with that big run. Nothing fancy there.
Yeah, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. Although I don't believe that was a turnover, it comes back to the turnovers, and
right.
And right now it's been turnovers, big plays.
Big play indeed. First down now for the Braves again. They spotted at the 13. 3:28 to play first quarter. They lead 14-7 with 3 wide. Maroon Devils with a 4-man front. Going to be Evans again. This time we hit him in the backfield, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Might have gained half a yard, but some good combination people with Thomas Allen, among others, on the tackle.
Yeah, they basically ran the same play twice right there, thinking that hopefully they could pick up the same thing, and it didn't happen for them then. So they'll change it up a little bit this play.
Good penetration by our defensive front. Second down and still almost 10 for the Braves. Just under 3 minutes to play. They lead 14-7, knocking on the door again in the red zone here. And let's see what they line up with. 3 wide, 1 back. It's going to be Evans beside Crow. He gets the call, and he's hit in the backfield and is knocked down. And a penalty flag comes in as he's hit at the 14-yard line. We got a bunch of guys, Ian Brooks in there, Hunter Burrell in there, among others, to slow down Isaiah Evans. But let's see what this flag is about.
It was thrown at the spot there where he was tackled, so it's holding.
So that's going to be a big penalty for the Braves here. We saw our own first series kind of messed up with a couple of penalties, and now the Braves with an outstanding opportunity here in the red zone, backing up to the 25.
Yeah, anytime you're running a play that extends outside those tackles like that right there, those officials, they watch a lot on these edges and from the backside to see if somebody's being held, because if playing up and down the line of scrimmage, running east and west that way, a lot of times it's just more than a lot of players can deal with. They got to reach and grab somebody.
Now 4 wide for the Braves. 1 man in the backfield. This time it's going to be Mintz out of the Wildcat. He wants to throw, looking. Now he's going to run, and he's going to be hit and hanging on till help arrives over there again is Jacob Langston, and he got some help over there from Big Charlie Lambert and Ian Brooks.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. I think he was going to just try to throw it up deep, but it was more of a run-pass option for him. I think it was just a matter of if he thought he could run it, take off with it.
And apparently pretty good coverage. He couldn't find anybody open. Now the ball is all the way back at the 30-yard line, Coach, after a loss on that play. So now the Braves are literally looking at a 3rd down and about 26, 27 yards to go as they have to get down inside the 3 for a first down.
Yeah, now it's when you defend the wide side of that field and you tell your secondary people, linebackers, don't bite on anything. Just keep your depth and read the quarterback.
Here we go, 3 wide. Crow to throw. Penalty is blowing the play dead. Looks like somebody is moving up front. And they're going to, false start. Backing them up 5.
There again, I think it was a wide receiver, and that'll make a coach.
Oh, boy.
Spit blood. It
yes,
really will.
As coaches like to say, that's a mental mistake, isn't it?
It's a bad mental mistake when you jump before the ball snapped and you're lined up out there not supposed to be listening to a snap count anyway.
So here we go now with a 3rd down and 32. Holy cow. This is a long way to go.
Yeah, now they got their one of the primary receivers now into the boundary.
Got 2 wide on the left side. Mintz is playing quarterback out of that Wildcat, throws on the run, and it's going to be caught, I believe, at the 20-yard line.
Yep.
Believe it or not, it's caught at the 20. A lot of people down around the football, but that's a long way from the first down.
Yeah, but this is I'm pretty sure right here that Coach Briggs is going to go for this.
4th down at the 19.
He has no qualms about it right now.
And now with 4th down at the 19-yard line, they still have a 4th down and about 16 to go. Got to get down to the 3 for a first down, Coach. So let's see. I don't think they're going to try to kick a field goal. They're going to line up and go for it.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. And here's where I think Coach Briggs likes to throw these crossing routes in behind the linebackers and right in there.
Yep, right up the gut, and it's off the hands of one receiver and one of our defenders back there. The intended receiver was Michael Bernheisel, and it's going to be incomplete. And the good thing is Maroon Devils get the football back on downs with 46 seconds to play here in the first quarter. So even though the penalty slowed down the Braves, we saw some good defense as well.
Oh, yeah, saw good defense after that. And the taking over the ball on downs is big right now, and a big part of comes an important part of this game. We've got to get some more. We got to get the momentum back now, and right now that defensive stand, it could start.
Here we go. Maroon Devils have got to hang on to the football. Damian Lossy breaking a tackle up the line of scrimmage, 25-30 into the secondary. It's going to be a foot race.
Block him. That's what he's doing. Now turn it on.
Now he's still going straight up the middle of the field. Evans tried to bring, and he finally got him all the way down at the 15-yard line. He was trying to play zigzag with big Isaiah Evans, and he just couldn't shake him till some help caught up with him.
Yeah, he did a great job right there of staying in behind those blockers. He probably would have been tackled before that if he hadn't have. But in that situation, he waited on people to get out in front of him and block. And you got to like what you saw there. He just ran the veer play, kept the football, broke the tackle to the line of scrimmage, and took off.
Boy, he did. Great tackle breaking he did at the line of scrimmage. 68-yard run for Damian Lossy. And you're talking about getting momentum back here. This could be the final play of the first quarter as they lined him up, and the clock running now 18 seconds and counting. But again, the Maroon Devils knocking on the door, trying to tie it up here at Cherokee. Ian Brooks going in motion to the right side. Damian under center, and he tries to hand off and breaking a tackle down to the 5. Good run there for the Maroon Devils. This time it's going to be 20. Hunter Burrell, as the first quarter comes to an end, will swap into the field, and the Maroon Devil again almost ready to tie it up 14-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the Maroon Devils Network. Whew. That's a tell you what. We're seeing big play after big play.
I love it, man.
That makes it fun. Yep. Holy cow. So we've got 9:50. They've got 15:145. Now we're getting close. Yeah. You're talking about a wild game. Last Saturday, 52-50. My gosh.
I didn't know what the score was. I was outside. My wife hollered down there and told me.
Goodness great. We were talking about that. 4 hours. It started at 3:30. Seriously, it was over at 7:30. Almost exactly. You know, we were talking about they threw it 60 times at ETSU. They threw it 73 times last Saturday. I mean, they just broke their own record.
Man.
It's crazy. He is pretty good. Yeah, unfortunately.
I know there's a lot of excitement up there, being 3-0. Yeah.
Well, the crowds have been really good.
Yep. That's what they need.
We're not broadcasting live, so whenever you're ready.
Fans, welcome back here. I'm Maroon Devils at the start of the second quarter here. Knocking on the door. Second down and goal to go from the 5-yard line. Brooks in motion. And it's going to be Damian on the right side. Just kind of ran it over there between, looks like the A-gap coach, or might have slid over to the B-gap, but he got close down near the 1-yard line.
Yeah, they're using Ian Brooks there as a lead blocker, and they kind of used him as a decoy then so that Cherokee would bite on his motion going across through there, and wherever he went up in there, they'd think the ball was coming there, and Damian ran it back to the other side. So that's what they ran down here previously to pick up with Brooks being the lead blocker to shuffle across through there and make a block on the level 2 players.
Now, Maroon Devils want a timeout to make sure we've got the right play of the ball game with 11:38 to play, 14-7 our scored, and we'll keep it right here, Coach. But again, we're seeing some good play from both teams. Some big play. We've seen some good runs. So the way this ball game is going, who knows what kind of stats we're going to have when it's all over. But so far, it's been a fun game to watch for the fans.
Yeah,
big crowd.
It is, and when you finally get to see some big plays, we take these turnovers away, and so we can create a different atmosphere out there on that field. That's the big thing we've got to start working with now.
That's it. Hang on to the football. try to eliminate some of the penalties. But looking at the stands here, this place is full, and you got people down in the end zone on the fence and a few people on the other end. So you can't get many more people in here.
No, it's great. It's great to see these kind of crowds come out for Smoky Mountain Conference games. It's big for everybody and big for the programs, and it's what it's all about, man. I tell you what, if there's anything I miss about coaching other than being around players that made me feel younger, is these kind of crowds and these kind of ball games.
Oh, it's just got an excitement about it. Here we go. Second down now, goal to go from the 1-yard line. Brooks in motion. Damian takes the snap, goes over the A-gap right behind the center, and I think he's in. Touchdown, Maroon Devils, and that was just a well-designed play and good work up front.
Yeah, that's old school wedge blocking. The offensive linemen all step towards the center, and he just becomes the apex, and they just drive their feet and don't let anybody get under you and stop your feet. And Damian takes the ball and literally just runs right up their back. If he has to step on them, he steps on them.
One thing about these two lines, Coach, on the Braves side and the Maroon Devils side, these are some of the biggest linemen in the conference as we kick it up for the extra point. And this one went sideways.
Okay.
So that's going to give Cherokee a 1-point lead right now, 14-13 with 11:34 to play in the second quarter. That one just bad left. Couldn't tell if it was a bad snap, bad hold, or just kind of hooked it. But as we saw last week, those extra points are big.
Yeah, and it could be that could be big in this ball game. Either way, you know, it could end up down to where if we can get out front again, we'll have to go for two.
Right.
And at any point when we score again, we'll have to go for two and try to make up the difference.
So now let's see what the Cherokee Braves come out with as we see Kent Briggs and, again, John Mitchell down there talking to the kick return team. And they have the capability of bringing it back, as we saw last year, all too well. But let's see if our Maroon Devils can hold Cherokee down on the kick return as we did on our last shot.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of times you have to challenge your players out there. Say he's a great kick returner back here.
Yes.
We're not going to fade it on him. We're not going to play games with him unless the ball game dictates that we squib kick it or something of that nature, and the clock or whatever. But we're going to kick it to him, and we're going to go down there and try to tackle him.
That's it. By the way, we've had some trouble with our internet connection, so folks that might be listening in, just wanted to pass that on to you as Hunter Call gets ready to kick it back to Ty Mintz and the Brave return team. And again, Hunter has already had a huge first half. He's kicked an extra point. He's scored a touchdown on a big pass play. And here comes Mintz from the 12-yard line. 15, 20, getting a block out to the 25 and out across the 30 to the 33-yard line, where the Braves will now take over first down and 10 with plenty of time to play in the first half.
Yeah, we get an opportunity right here to play defense again and see if we can't change some field position situations and come up with a big play and maybe even a turnover on this series right here.
Oh, that would be huge. One thing that I'm so happy with is the home colors of the Cherokee Braves. Maroon jerseys with gold numbers. When they have the white jerseys with gold numbers, they're just impossible to read from the press box.
Can't see them.
You really can't. But they're really nice here tonight for both teams. Back to throw is Crow. Fires, got his man open for a first down at the 45, and it's going to be complete down there again to Bernheisel, their 5'8" senior receiver.
Yeah, we weren't hardly wide enough on our coverage, and there's times when he's running like that with the football, you've got to give it a little ground. You've got to get some width to keep those receivers from finding those underneath soft zones.
Well, I tell you, that could drive a cornerback and linebacker crazy, Coach. As you know, when you've got a quarterback like that has that danger of running anytime he rolls out like that in that situation.
Yeah, and you know he can pull it down and run with it at any time. But right then, all he did was look for the open receiver in that underneath flat zone there, and we didn't have wide enough coverage.
So now
we got to get some more players on the field, and they're trying to get them to snap the football. The officials are without us with 11 players on the field.
Yeah. Now we're ready to go. Looks like everybody's got enough players. The clock starts running, 11:15 to play. Here in the second quarter, Braves up by 1, 14-13. This time they line up strong side right. for Crow. Got Mintz in motion. They fake the jet sweep, hand off to Evans as he kind of rumbles out to the 49-yard line. He's a strong runner, and he hits that corner pretty hard.
Yeah, they tried one of our tricks right there by trading the tight end and trying to get us not adjust to it, and I'm sure that's probably something that they haven't done before, and we've not seen it on film or whatever, and that right there was an opportunity. That was one-on-one out there, and big play made, big tackle made.
And we can see Coach Kent Briggs calls his own plays from the sideline over here as now the Braves are looking at second down. They still need about 7 to go, just shy of midfield at their 49. Maroon Devils with that wolf front, 3-man front, 2 linebackers right behind them. And now we've got a timeout call. Braves apparently didn't like the play that was set up, so they're going to call a time with 10:23 to play. And, Coach, the way this game's going, every play is big, so you got to make sure you're ready to go.
Yeah, neither coach is leaving anything to chance, and
No.
you can't in a ball game like this because it's you hate to say it's a must-win, but they're trying to find their best way to win this thing.
They really are, and I think everybody knows with the conference play with some of our teams, especially our Maroon Devils and the Cherokee Braves, some of the bigger conference games still down the road. This is a big one for both teams. You don't want to lose this one because then you're kind of in the hole before you go to some of those big games with Robbinsville and with Murphy coming up later.
Oh yeah, and both these teams right here are trying to make improvements and trying to still looking for themselves, finding their own personality and what they can do and what they can't do, and it takes sometimes to mid-season before you really even have a clue.
Oh, no question. And we have so many young players, as we mentioned. We have 4 senior starters, 8 juniors, and a couple of sophomores who start. So I think the future is very bright. Got an outstanding JV team, I think, that's still undefeated that we can look forward to. Here we go. Braves with the football. Crow fakes, throws down the middle, but nobody's there. It's kind of like he was throwing to a zone, but it was open.
They were attempting the screen, and now they're going to get the ineligible receivers downfield, I'm pretty sure, because they released way early, and they were up. Their entire offensive line was 10 yards upfield. Now, I don't know whether or not if you throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, then that's not a penalty. But we'll see right here if it is a penalty, if that's what they're going to call.
Yeah,
because they were trying to throw that screen that they threw earlier underneath, and I don't know whether he just couldn't find him or it come out of his hand wrong, but he missed him, and the ball took off on him, but he was running there. He was open underneath there for just a split second, but all their linemen were downfield.
They really were. They were down there in the same general area. Second down or third down coming up now, and it is going to be that. No, it's going to be declined.
Yep.
So that'll bring up a third down.
Yeah, it's third down, and
it looks like about 7. So 3rd down and 7, and Maroon Devils trying to hold Cherokee down and get the ball back. And they're going to line him up and split 2 receivers wide out to the left side, one up top on the short side. That's going to be Mintz. He's over there right in front of the Maroon Devil bench, and he's going to have some help over there again with Bernheisel.
Good time to blitz right here. But
Crow to throw, right side. There's Mintz in the gap, and he's got it for a first down at the 40-yard line. Down there on the tackle for the Maroon Devil secondary is Hunter Burrell.
Yeah, you ran a curl route that time instead of running a takeoff route. Takeoff meaning just flying up the field and trying to pull the corner out. He drove the corner off. The inside receiver then ran an out route, and he curled in behind him. And what they're trying to do is pick on the linebacker, knowing the corner can't bite up on those things. So he's going to have to give him a little bit of room.
Big play, first down now for the Braves. Again, just inside our 40 at the 39 with 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. 14-13 Braves lead, got a man in motion, and they run Evans to the right side, and he has a big gain of about 8, almost 9 yards down to the 30-yard line before we finally bring him down. But they had good dominance on the scrimmage that time.
Yeah, if he gets a crease and he gets his shoulders turned upfield, man, he's a load. He's a handful. Now his feet don't stop moving till the rest of his body's on the ground, and he don't go down easy. So it's one of those things that if sometimes they're going to get it blocked right, and we've got to try to fight back, keep that from happening.
He's a tough runner, and he likes to bring those knees up, which makes him even harder to bring down. He gets the call again, and he has the first down easily down to the 28-yard line. He only needed 1. He got a couple, and it's going to bring up first down and 10 for the Braves, and they're kind of trying to get in a rhythm offensively, it looks like here, Coach, is they're not wasting a whole lot of time.
Yeah, they fold blocked between the guard and tackle that time, and all they were trying to do is get a 1-yard crease for him to get his shoulder pads in. They didn't even care about getting the linebacker blocked. All they wanted to do is get the line of scrimmage blocked and let him get what he can get.
Here goes Mintz on the right side this time. This time they're going to put the tight end on the strong side right. Twins on the left side, get a man in the slot, and it's going to be Evans again, just straight up the gut again, nothing fancy. And a penalty flag coming in late as Evans carries down to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, I think that's going to be another one of those backside holding when those offensive linemen feel defensive linemen moving towards the football. They just they reach and grab them sometimes, and once your hand gets either outside the shoulder pads or a hold of a jersey, then those officials see that kind of stuff.
So now they're going to back it up to the 31-yard line. It's going to bring up a first down, and it looks like about 14 or so with just under 9 minutes to play here in the second quarter. And but again, a great crowd here on hand at Cherokee High School at Ray Kinsland Stadium. Our best prayers and wishes going out to Mr. Ray Kinsland as he is not able to be with us here tonight. We hope he's better real soon. First down. And long for the Braves. Isaiah, they play fake. Oh, they dropped the ball. Crow dropped it. He gets back on it at the 38-yard line. But, Coach, he started to throw. Ball just popped out of his hand.
Yeah, send a blitz off the edge over there. We used to call that a rocket blitz. And the edge player outside, he comes off the corner, and the back picks him up. But the quarterback feels that pressure, and he's trying to get rid of that football in a hurry. And as he slung his arm back, it just popped out.
Coach told me this week, sometimes if you hit a quarterback enough, sometimes they like to throw it a little early.
Yeah, he saw the blitz coming, which he was facing it, and it was coming right into his face. And as the back tried to pick it up, he was awful close to him, and he was trying to get rid of that thing as quick as possible.
Second down and roughly 20. Oh, they drop the snap again. They try to throw it, and it's going to be knocked down. It's going to be an incomplete pass. But again, just some bad timing for the Braves as the snap never really made it to the quarterback and blew it up.
Yeah, they were trying to run the screen again out here to the same player. Number 15, he was doing his underneath move. Those linemen released. This time he was behind the line of scrimmage, so it wouldn't be ineligible receivers downfield, but counting those offensive linemen. So he was trying to get it in there to him. It just didn't work.
So now the Braves struggling offensively, and Coach Briggs calling a timeout, I think, to maybe settle his troops down here with a 7:55 to go, Coach, because right now I think they're a little rattled with the last two plays, that ball popping out.
Yeah, and it's a long way for them to go right here, but this is automatically two-down territory for them. So I think anytime they cross the 40, it's two-down territory for them.
And, we saw that a lot last week from Hayesville. When you've got a quarterback who is capable and a big receiver, a lot of times they can really go for it just almost anywhere on the field.
Yeah, and the way they run their passing game with a lot of underneath things, 2 downs to pick up 20 yards, that's nothing. They think that's nothing.
Oh, no question. We're glad to hear we got the internet back under control here, and it's been kind of spotty here tonight at Cherokee High School, but it's back, and we apologize for any inconvenience and loss of broadcast that we might have experienced down the line, but hopefully we can keep this internet on. It's a tricky thing, especially up here between these two mountains. You'd think on this outstanding campus that wouldn't be an issue, but it is, and it has been ever since this school has been here, just to be brutally honest.
No, I'll tell you what, it's been ever since there was an internet. Let me tell you that.
Exactly.
If there's an internet, something's going to break.
It can, no doubt about it, Coach. 3rd down and long for the Braves. They line them up. 4 wide receivers. A lot of guys coming after Crows. Sets it up on the right side to Evans. Breaks a tackle. He's still running wild all the way down to the 20-yard line. He's still a couple of yards short of the first down, but a huge play. And, they're going to go for it on 4th down and short.
That's it. That's that underneath passing game. They're not going to try to air it out deep, but like they did with that big play earlier, they feel they have way more confidence in throwing that ball short like that and letting their athletes take over and run the football.
And, Coach, that's exactly what happened. Evans was over there on the right, and he had a whole lot of room. And when you have a back like that, he can make people miss.
Yeah, and he's hard to bring down in the open field anyway.
4th down and 2. They sling it out there on the right side. Ball is going to be knocked loose. It's picked up, and they're going to say it's incomplete. Even though our back took off with it, looks like the receiver I'm not sure, really had control of that football.
I would like to see the replay of that because it was bang bang, but
it was.
I would like to think that he hung on to it long enough for us to call it a fumble. But Bryce was heads up, scooping the ball up and taking off with it.
Boy, there's a late flag. Somebody said something because the play's been dead now for several seconds. Somebody said something. A flag is down, so we're probably going to see an unsportsmanlike conduct on one of the teams down here inside the 20-yard line. And Coach Neil Blankenship not right happy right now.
I think it's one of our players.
Yes, it is.
Because he's having a little come to Jesus meeting with him over there.
He is. And so now, instead of the football up near the 20-yard line,
well, that hurts.
Moly, it comes all the way. Well, it's back to the 10, but still, that's a big difference.
Yeah, you got to get and it's hard to do, man. These young men, they got to keep their temperament under control because you're doing nothing but hurting your football team in situations like this. And,
yes.
And it goes through from the colleges up through the pros. It's the same thing. You see it week in and week out, and yeah, that'll make you a coach spit blood too.
Oh, no question. This time Damian runs it to the right side, and that's such a fine line, Coach, as you know as well as anybody, is Damian running hard. Oh, there's a late flag. I think we may have a late hit. Personal foul on the Brave defense. But, football is an intense, emotional game, and sometimes it is. It's hard to keep your emotions under control, but you got to.
Yeah, and you don't know. You're not out there in the mix, and on the field you think it's as quiet as it is. They're not having the same conversations out there as you're having with your friends in the stands. Let me put it to you that way. You're not talking about somebody's new child or your grandchildren. No, these young men have they're out there fighting and clawing with each other and sweating and bleeding, and things. They say things. They lose their composure. They lose their tempers, and it's hard to keep it under control.
So right now, it is a personal foul against the Brave defense. They hit our running back late. Damian got hit late after the whistle had blown. It's an automatic first down. Now the line of scrimmage is at the 27-yard line. First down and 10, Maroon Devils. Got a wing on the right. Bryce Swain lines up on the left of Damian Lossy back in the shotgun. Damian's going to run to the left side. Finds a little gap, and he got a couple of yards, and it's going to be brought down at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, he staying on his feet there trying to pick up all those yards. He hope he hangs on to that football now. We don't need a turnover at this point in stage of the game.
Oh, no question. You were talking about babies and stuff. Want to say congratulations to Michael Watson. He's a proud papa of a brand new son named after Grandpa Nathaniel.
Well, I heard the other night while I was talking about how pretty his little girl was and looked like his wife that she was in labor at the hospital. I got home and found that out. So I apologize again, Michael.
All right, here we go. And this time Damian fakes the handoff, running wild into the secondary, out across the 45, still going. Big first down. I tell you, Damian Lossy's playing maybe the best game of the season right here in this first half.
Well, that's the option play we talked about earlier. He's riding the back. He's looking to watch the defensive end. The defensive end is unblocked. He's seeing which way he commits, and when he sees him commit to the running back and start widening, he just pulls the ball. That's why you see him hanging on the ball for so long in there. If that end squats and stops, then he's going to give it to him.
Now it's going to be Bryce lining up to the right side of Damian. Got a wing over here with Ian Brooks on the right side. The handoff goes to the left side. No, Damian fakes it, runs it to the right side, and is going to be stuck and driven back, but he still got some positive yards before being tackled over there by Ty Mintz.
Yeah, it looks good when you drive somebody back like that and the crowd gets all pumped up, but still he picked up positive yardage, and that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Damon's doing a heck of a job staying on his feet tonight.
He is.
He's on his feet a whole lot more than what he has been before. He's taking the football and he's getting every yard he can get.
And to use a term that our old buddy Steve Moon like to use a lot, he's getting a lot of yak yards.
Yak yards, yep.
Those yards after contact.
Mm-hmm.
And he is making Cherokee's defense pay. Now we got an official blowing the whistle here. We'll see what this timeout is about. If it's official or a team is going to be charged a timeout. Looks like the officials are just calling one. Looks like we've got an injury. So we got some blood, and they're going to have to fix that, Coach. As you know, they've got to patch that up before they can get ready to play here. And takes a little Band-Aid, a little tape, and maybe some gauze, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, I think they were talking about the spot, too, exactly where I don't think the ball was in the right place, and they saw it from the markers.
So here we go. Maroon Devils with the football. Bryce running to the left side, trying to cut outside, and does, and he's got a first down.
The first down.
Good running by Bryce Swain. He had the big linebacker out there who really couldn't catch him, but he had to run him down from behind, and there's a late penalty flag on the tackle as well.
Yeah, that little bit of irritation over there. It's the same thing we were talking about, and I think they're a little irritated that Bryce ran that thing so well that time. He put that little stutter step in there. He didn't have any blockers. He put that stutter step in there, and that helped him get the first down because it made that corner, made him get tangled up with his feet. And I think he got frustrated and might have said something or reacted in a very unsportsmanlike manner.
Oh, yes, indeed. That cost him a personal foul. And, wow, instead of up at the about the 40-yard line, the football is now coming all the way to the Cherokee 22.5-yard line, Coach. So another big penalty, and the Braves keep moving backwards. So now first down and 10, 5:13 to play in the second quarter. Maroon Devils down by 1, but now we're getting close to knocking on the red zone door. Damian fakes to the right, runs to the left, a little stutter step, and he's down the sideline, and I think he ran out of bounds.
Nope, he hadn't run out yet.
Oh, wow, he's still going.
Nope. There he goes.
Holy cow, we saw somebody over there throw a helmet. And I'm not sure what that's about, but one of the Cherokee helmets was over on our side of the field.
Yeah.
And I don't see any penalty flag, but I know one thing. We've got a first down.
We got a first down, and that was unbelievable. That play fake,
wow.
And we pulled one of their stunts where we folded everybody over the top and pulled those two interior linemen, and they were just on the edge blocking for Damian, and he waited on his blockers to get set, and then he just continued to run. He stayed on his feet as good as I've ever seen.
Outstanding job. He's averaging 10 yards a carry, 12 carries, 121 yards already in the first half. Outstanding work for Damian Lossy. 4:45 to play. Here we go. First down and goal to go from about the 7-yard line. Oh, they stuck us in the backfield. This time the blitz came in and got us as Bryce had just couldn't get his feet under him. It's too quick.
Yeah, and the Cherokee was a little bit misaligned, and they misaligned right to where we were carrying the football because you could see the linebackers were a little bit confused about the A and B and C gap on the left-hand side. There was nobody lined up there, and somebody was in the wrong place, but they were stacked up over here where we were going to run the football.
55, Jack Leno, one of their linebackers, now back in the game for the Braves as we have Ian Brooks in motion. Damian hands off left side. We got a yard, but they stuck that gap pretty quick as well, Coach. And now we're looking at third down and goal from about the 7-yard line.
Yeah, this is a tough place to be right here because you start questioning yourself about field goals and everything else because you got to be thinking down or sometimes two ahead. What are we going to do if we don't get this thing in right here? But you hope that you can get it in, but if not, a decision has to be made after this down right here as to what you're going to do. If you're close enough, you go. If not, then we need to make up the points, the point that we're behind on the scoreboard at least before halftime.
Hey, that's the key. Third down now again.
Probably going to call timeout right here and talk it over because we have whether we're in 4-down territory here or not.
Yeah, the play clock did run down. We did call a timeout, no penalty. So now we're looking at third down and 7. But obviously, a big play coming up with 3:17 to play in the second quarter. And this has been a heck of a ball game. We've seen some outstanding play offensively on both sides.
Oh yeah, it's been a big night for both teams as far as big plays and airing the ball out and good things happening. But it's fun to see our players finally start to have some chances at big plays and seeing who's going to make them and see how they're being made, and it creates a lot more momentum for you, and people get more excited about it.
Oh, no question. And as I mentioned before, Damian Lossy, I think, is playing his best football tonight that we've seen all season. He's making some good decisions with the option. We saw the big touchdown pass earlier to Hunter Call over there, and he just really looks pretty comfortable out there right now.
Right now he does, and I don't think he's very flustered about anything. Even the mishandled snaps he's had and whatnot. That's something that he just has to – he's young enough that he puts it behind him, and he really doesn't have time to think about it.
Here we go, 3rd down and 7 after the timeout. He's going to hand off. Bryce Swain turning to the left side, trying to get it outside. Well, Cherokee's not going to let us outside is the problem. Their linemen just throwing that play out, and we didn't have enough people out there. It was just too many numbers. They just didn't let us outside. The Bryce's helmet comes off, but again, they just had a lot of jerseys out there, and we couldn't get to that corner.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what all transpired over there. I couldn't see for all the goings on, but somehow Bryce's helmet got taken off and dismantled over there on about the 5-yard line. So something transpired, and we'll see here as it goes. But it looks like we're going to attempt a field goal right here and at least try to make up this 1 point.
You're right,
hopefully,
Coach.
He gets a good kick right here.
Hunter Call is going to come in. They're going to spot it at just outside the 12, so basically almost a 23-yard field goal between 22 and 23. The snap is good. The hold is good. Looks like the kick is
he missed it wide right.
Wide right, so it's not going to go with 2:54 to play. So, wow, it's still a 1-point Cherokee lead and still a whole lot of time left. Fans, stay tuned. We're going to take a 30-second break, and we'll be back after this 30-second timeout on the Maroon Devils Network. Fans, welcome back. Just as the first play gets underway for the Braves on the turnover of downs after we tried a field goal and hit it wide right, got a penalty flag, another holding call on the Cherokee Braves. And so far tonight, Coach, the penalty flag defensively has kind of been our friend.
Oh, it is, and you know, holding penalties, that's lazy linemen. That's what I always used to call it. When you start getting that many holding penalties in the line of scrimmage, I don't care what offense you're running, because officials will get tired of calling it, and that's the way a lot of coaches look at it. But if you continue to do it, it just makes offensive linemen lazier and lazier to where they don't move their feet, and all they want to do is reach and grab people. And on a night like tonight, it could really end up costing you.
Here we go, 4-man front for the Maroon Devils. Back to throw is going to be Crow. Fires to the sideline, got his man at the 22 as he's forced out of bounds over here on the sideline by our Maroon Devils secondary. Daniel Ammons over there forcing their number 15, Blake Smith, out of bounds, but they get a first down. And that stops the clock as well with 2:33 to play. Not sure about the timeout scenario, but I know both teams have used some timeouts here in the first half already.
Yeah, I believe that brings up second down, Gary, because they got penalized there, and they got back between the sticks on that play, throwing that underneath route to that wide out. He's probably going to do the same thing right here on the outside.
2nd and 8. Crow is going to be hit by Millsaps and sacked back inside the 15-yard line. So Big Nick got inside, got his arms around him, and not too many people bigger than Nick.
Yeah, we went to a different coverage right then, and when he looked out there, he realized that our corner squatted this time and didn't follow that receiver into the middle of the field, turned him over to the safety, and he wanted to throw that ball to that out route over so he could try to get him catch it and get out of bounds and stop the clock. And we squatted underneath it over there to cover 2 look, and when the corner doesn't drop like that, I mean, if he throws it, there's a good chance it's going to get picked.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. So now it's going to be Mintz wide right. Now they're looking at 3rd down and 15. 1:50 to play in the first half. Devils down by 1. Crow back to throw. Here comes the blitz, and he's hit from the blind side. He never saw Hunter Burrell coming. He hit him in the back, and he goes down at the 5.
That's the same blitz we ran earlier, only this time the back was on the other side and couldn't pick him up. He was looking at the defensive tackle out there trying to help with him, and we came off the side where the back wasn't, and That rocket blitz will do it every time. I used to start every game running that blitz on the first defensive play we had, just so we could try to make something happen. It didn't always work, but the kids liked to do it, and they knew that's what we were going to do.
Oh, I tell you, Crow never saw Hunter Burrell coming over there, and he was coming like he was shot out of a rocket. And now we're going to have another timeout with 1:28 to play, because Cherokee is going to have to punt the ball away. We're going to get it back in outstanding field position as they're literally punting from their own end zone.
Yeah, and if we can handle this one, if Bryce will get deep enough and get us some decent field position with 1:28 left to go, then we've got a chance of making something happen here before halftime.
Oh, no doubt. With 1:28 to play, the timeout stopping things here at Cherokee. Don't forget now, fans, next week we're going to be on the road at Andrews. 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be back at home with Rosman. And then things get interesting as we go to Murphy and host Robbinsville back-to-back. But every game is big in the Smoky Mountain Conference, as we saw last week, and we're seeing again this week. A 1-point game last week, a 1-point game here on the first half this week. But what else is new, Coach?
Yeah, what do you expect? It is the Smoky Mountain Conference.
We call it the toughest conference in the state, and there's not too much argument there when you look at the success of the Smoky Mountain Conference over all the years. Now they're going to drop Mintz literally back in the end zone. He's going to punt it, but, Coach, as we mentioned, anytime you got a guy like this back there, he's a threat to run or otherwise.
Yeah, this is a dangerous situation to have him in, because if he mishandles the ball even and runs out of there with it, he can make crazy things happen.
Pretty good punt. It's going to be going out of bounds up near the 43-yard line. So we're going to get the ball back in Cherokee Brave territory with 1:23 to play. They're going to spot it at the 41. So now let's see if we can make something happen before we take it to the locker room. But it's been an interesting first half. Penalties have played a major role here for both teams, really.
They really have, and that's a great punt right there, and to get it out of bounds so we couldn't handle it. But he kicked that ball further than what I thought it was going to travel.
Yeah, he was literally almost at the back of the end zone, and that ball, it actually sailed out of bounds about the 43. We're going to get it at the 40, where it crossed the stripe, and here we go. Got 5 wide, empty backfield, and we got people jumping all over the place. We're going to back up 5 as we had 3 or 4 people on the wrong song on that verse.
Yeah, you nailed it right there. They were hit the wrong note. I'm not real sure what's happening. I don't know whether or not they're not hearing the snap count, or whether something's not being made clear, because we've done that almost 3 times now, I think, where the ball's either not been snapped or more than one person was moving. Let's put it that way.
That's it. A lot of guys moving. Got a wing on the left, and we're going to run it to the left side. Damian Lossy fakes the handoff and keeps it all the way down to the 42-yard line. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 12. Got to keep an eye on the clock now with 1:12 and counting before halftime.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you that clock is your enemy right now, and especially when you huddle like we do and we don't come right back to the line of scrimmage and make play calls, because we're down underneath a minute now, and it's just taking us too long if we really want to try to hit this thing. So I'd say right now we're going to be looking at a couple of shots at big plays down the field.
Got Hunter Call lined up on the right side. We're going to hand off, though. Bryce Sane reverses field, spins, and he actually almost broke it, but he lost his footing at the 38. He's going to bring up 3rd down at about 8 yards to go, and we might see one more play before halftime as the clock is running.
Are we out of timeouts?
I think we might be. I think
I don't see them on the board over there.
Yeah, I don't see any timeouts, so I think we're out, and I think they probably are too. 3rd down and about 8 to go. 19 seconds and counting. 2 wides. Damian Lossy looking to the left side. Fires it long down the middle, and it's going to be picked off at the 8-yard line. Cherokee has it at the 10. Got a penalty flag down. 9 seconds to play before we go to the locker room as Bryce was down there, but they got their hands on the ball.
I'm not real sure what this penalty is either, because it happened right at the point of the interception. And that's the trouble you get into when you don't have the timeouts and you have to try to throw the deep ball because you're running out of downs. They can fall off there on you, and most of the time it's either incomplete or intercepted. You very rarely see that hit for a touchdown, just unless the other team goes completely to sleep.
Now they're going to give Cherokee the ball at the 15, 1st down. and they're probably let's see if they try to break a big play or if they just hit a knee and go to halftime. But they're signaling the play in from the sideline as the clock is stopped here.
Yeah, he'll try to make something happen. I don't know that he'll throw a deep ball, but they'll try to get one of those backs loose or throw it underneath again on the screen and see if he can break it.
Yeah, Mintz is wide right. Evans in the backfield behind Crow, and he hands off, and they pop it outside. Mintz blocking out there for Evans. He's on the sideline, but goes out of bounds still with 3 seconds to play.
Yeah, it's just the kind of thing they're going to do to get the ball upfield. I mean, he's that athletic. So give him the football and see what he can do.
And we see it so much more, Coach, than we used to see it back in the day. Wide receivers have to block on a lot more plays than ever.
Well, these spread offenses, if you don't use them as blockers, they're no use to you. I mean,
that's right.
Because if you're going to run the football, they've got to be able to block defensive backs and even at times linebackers.
And we saw Mintz doing that on that play over there. And we see so many wide receiver screens anymore that the wide receivers really have to be able to block. 3-man rush for the Maroon Devils. Crow winds up and throws it deep in double coverage. Mintz is down there, but he's out of bounds, and the clock runs out. And this game will go to the halftime locker room with the Braves on top right now, 14-13. But it's been a great first half here. We've seen a lot of fireworks, a lot of running, a lot of throwing, a lot of penalty flags. But going to be interesting now, Coach, to see what kind of adjustments each team can make at halftime.
Yeah, and see who really wants to take charge of this ball game. We were in the same situation last week. One team's got to come out here and try to establish themselves. Both teams are struggling with each other right now. There's nobody that's got a definite advantage on anything right now. Cherokee's probably the better big play type team or driving the football, but we keep finding ways to get back in it, and that's just as an important part of a characteristic of a team as anything is how do we get ourselves back in this thing.
Hey, no question about that. Fans, stay tuned. More coming up. Stay with us here on the Maroon Devils Network. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll be right back. So stay with us. We'll be back.
Hello, this is Brandon Sutton, principal of Swain Middle School. I'd like to tell you how important it is for us as citizens to exercise our right to vote. It is important for parents, teachers, and administrators to model good, responsible citizenship for our students. If you're not already registered to vote, I encourage you to register before the general election on November 6th. The deadline to register, Friday, October 12th, is quickly approaching. For your convenience, Swain Middle School will have registration forms in the office. We also have a drop box where you can drop those registration forms off, and we will deliver them to the Board of Election. I encourage you to have a discussion with your child about the importance of voting. Voting isn't just a right, it is our duty that we owe our democracy. Thank you.
Hello, Maroon Devil fans. This is Michael Watson with Farley Insurance asking you to come out and support our Maroon Devils during this upcoming sports year. I know what it's like to wear the maroon and white and the dedication to excellence it takes to reach your goals. Like so many of the teammates I had the honor of playing with, together we accomplished some great things. I have taken the same dedication and lessons I've learned from the playing fields with me to Farley Insurance to become the best insurance agent I can be, and then some. Whether it's home, auto, life, health, business, or commercial, Farley Insurance is dedicated to making sure we take care of you and your family. Come be a part of the largest independently owned insurance company in the Smoky Mountain Conference, located at 264 U.S. Highway 19, Bryson City, North Carolina. Numbers 828-366-2555. Again, 828-366-2555. I'm Michael Watson with Farley Insurance, your hometown insurance agent. And go Big Maroon.
At Swain County Schools, we take the safety and well-being of our students very seriously. As part of our safety plan, we've added a new anonymous alerts app that allows our students and our community to report anonymously anything that they feel is out of place, out of touch, or wrong. So it's really simple to do. All you have to do is go to your app store on your phone, doesn't matter which phone type you've got, and search for anonymous alerts. Once that comes up, the app is free of charge. Download it. Once you've done that and started, it'll ask for an activation code. That activation code is Swain CS. So see it and report it.
Hi, my name is Evan Clapsaddle, and I'd like to talk with you about the importance of voting. It is critical that as citizens in this democracy, we let our voice be heard about who represents us. I encourage you to register to vote if you haven't already. The deadline to register is October 12th. As long as you're 18 on or before Election Day, you can register to vote. Just make sure you don't miss that deadline. It is critical that we teach our children the importance of voting and to be better citizens. If you haven't registered to vote, you can pick up a registration at any school in Swain County and also turn in that registration form at our schools. And we will make sure that your form is turned into the Board of Elections in time to be registered to vote. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Tricia Chapman, the director here at Bright Adventures Pre-K. Right now our students are getting up from their rest and their teachers are finishing up lesson plans for next week. They're going to be studying fallen apples. But here in a few weeks, they're going to be studying America. They're going to learn about bald eagles and the American flag and what it means to vote. You can help us with this by making sure that you're registered to vote. Even as preschoolers, our students are learning about being a part of their community. So make sure you're registered. Registration closes on October 12th. You can even pick up a form here at Pre-K and then talk to your child about what it means to vote when you go to vote in the general election this November the 6th. Thank you.
Hello, Maroon Devil fans. This is Michael Watson with Farley Insurance asking you to come out and support our Maroon Devils during this upcoming sports year. I know what it's like to wear the maroon and white and the dedication to excellence it takes to reach your goals. Like so many of the teammates I had the honor of playing with, together we accomplished some great things. I have taken the same dedication and lessons I've learned from the playing fields with me to Farley Insurance to become the best insurance agent I can be, and then some. Whether it's home, auto, life, health, business, or commercial, Farley Insurance is dedicated to making sure we take care of you and your family. Come be a part of the largest independently owned insurance company in the Smoky Mountain Conference, located at 264 U.S. Highway 19, Bryson City, North Carolina. Numbers 828-366-2555. Again, 828-366-2555. I'm Michael Watson with Farley Insurance, your hometown insurance agent. And go Big Maroon.
Hello, this is Vicki Davis, principal at West Elementary School. I'd like to tell you how important it is for us as citizens to exercise our right to vote. It's important as parents, teachers, and administrators to model good, responsible citizenship for our students. If you're not already registered to vote, I would encourage you to register before the general election on November 6th. However, the deadline for registering to vote is actually Friday, October 12th. For your convenience, we will have registration forms here in the office at West Elementary School. I would encourage you to also have a discussion with your child about the importance of voting. If it's possible, actually even take them with you when you go vote. When your children see you vote, they begin to understand that voting isn't just a right. It's a duty we owe to our democracy. Thank you. Have a great day.
At Swain County Schools, we take the safety and well-being of our students very seriously. As part of our safety plan, we've added a new anonymous alerts app that allows our students and our community to report anonymously anything that they feel is out of place, out of touch, or wrong. So it's really simple to do. All you have to do is go to your app store on your phone, doesn't matter which phone type you've got, and search for anonymous alerts. Once that comes up, the app is free of charge. Download it. Once you've done that and started, it'll ask for an activation code. That activation code is Swain CS. So see it and report it.
We're just about ready for the second half, taking a look at some of the first half stats here from Cherokee. The stats are almost as even as the scoreboard, and the Braves are up 14-13 at halftime. But in the first half, great offensive work, 30 plays, 206 yards for the Braves, 22 plays, 214 yards for our Maroon Devils. Running the football, Coach, as you know, that's kind of our MO. 20 carries, 147 yards. But the Braves, on the other hand, 17 carries, 14 yards. So an interesting stat to look at from the rushing category.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it would be that way. It really doesn't. But that's the kind of ball game we've been watching here, and we understand we had some technical difficulties in the first half, and some folks have been on the internet talking about it, and we apologize for that. And our producer over here, I think he's got everything Joe's got everything straightened out. He's got his fingers crossed. He's got everything crossed right now. Yeah. He's trying to keep it under control, but we apologize for that. It was we didn't really know we weren't on the air for a while, but I think we're back now and going full speed again. But if you missed it, the scoring was big plays to begin with, and both teams struck with big plays, and the kicking game then jumps back in on a missed extra point, and we end up with a 14 being behind by one. Cherokee up 14-13.
That extra point, and we also had a missed field goal that loomed large. But Cherokee threw the ball well, outthrowing us 192 yards to 67. Here we go with a kickoff return. Ian Brooks up the middle. He breaks through the first line down to the 40 to the 38-yard line. What a rocket as he took off with that football, Coach. And Cherokee was not ready for that.
Yeah, their plan bit them right then. They're kicking that ball towards the boundary, trying to make a big play for themselves, and Ian made them pay for it right then. He took the ball and went north and south, blew right between their defenders, and their defenders really actually overran him, and he saw that. And when he hit if he hadn't been tackled when he was, that was a touchdown.
Wow, outstanding work by Ian Brooks. And again, he's the guy who handles the ball some anyway. So he just grabbed it and took off. Here we go, 1st and 10 to get things underway here. And we go right up the A-gap, and a good run. That's Ian Brooks on that carry. And he's kind of the hot hand man right now, so to speak, as he carries down to the 31-yard line. A 5-yard pickup, 2nd down and 5 coming up.
Yeah, that was the first misdirection play that we've ran really in the ball game. And what we did was we faked the veer one way, folded an offensive lineman over the top up into the A-gap on the other side, and gave the ball to Brooks, and he picks up positive yards on it, picks up 5 yards.
Outstanding work. Twins on the left side this time as we're just underway, third quarter, and we line them up with split backs this time behind Damian Lossey. Damian carries, and he's very close to the first down near the 26-yard line. A big shout-out to some folks listening in on the Maroon Devils Network, Jordan Cody, Stephen Nichols, and Dan Manley. We thank those guys for hanging with us and listening in. And whether you're on the radio or on the network here, Coach, it's always good to have Maroon Devil football handy.
Yeah, that time right there, they just the quarterback used Bryce as a blocker, opened up like he was going to run the veer, and Bryce blew up on the linebacker, and he just cut it right in behind him there. And it's a good play scheme already.
Outstanding work. 1st down and 10 now for the Maroon machine at the 26 of Cherokee, and we go straight up the gut for about a yard this time at the 25. Cherokee penetrated and did a good job. Well, they're going to actually give us a couple of yards as we got just out across the 25.
Yeah,
and we had an alarm go off here in the press box with 10:30 to play in this third quarter. 14-13. Braves up over our Maroon Devils. So now the Maroon Devils handoff is going to be Bryce Singh carrying down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. It's going to bring up, looks like, Coach, about a 3rd down and a couple. We're getting close. Keep chipping away with that running game.
Yeah, and Cherokee's had to change their defensive front now because of the things that we've been doing. They're having to shuffle people up there, and we're pushing them in and out of that 5-man front. And we catch them out of it and run right at them. It's giving them a problem. Now they go back to it, and they're going to try to defend the line of scrimmage now.
Twins to the right side. We hand off to the right side. It's going to be Ian Brooks, very close to a 1st down. By the way, if you're hearing noise in the background, we have a false alarm on an emergency actually here in the press box where we are, but everything is okay. But right now, Maroon Devils, as the officials are going to bring on the chains and measure. Coach, from here, it looks like we're short, but let's hope it's just a bad angle on our part.
Well, I hope they measure. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And they're
Gotta be
going
sure.
to. Yeah.
So now they bring the chains on with 9:32 to play, and we're down by 1, but we've got the football driving. And we know with third down and short inside the red zone, we're probably going to be going for it. And again, if you're hearing that alarm here in the press box in our background, it's some kind of a false alarm that has gone off, and we don't know how to turn it off. And we apologize for that very annoying sound that you're hearing in the background. But we are just a tad short, Coach. But hey, you know we're going to go for it.
Yeah, I don't care if we get it or not right there, but they have to measure it. Now we know, and at least it shows you how much you got to get, and it's not a guessing game. And they're wanting us to leave here, but I don't think we're going to. I'm kind of ignoring it like I do my wife.
Fourth down and short. Here we go. Split backs. Damian under center. Now he steps back. He's surveying the defense. Right now, Cherokee looks like with 8 guys up there in the box.
Yeah, they're gonna pack them in there, and we're waiting to see what's going to transpire now.
Now we get set again on the line of scrimmage. Damian under center. We only need a yard. Damian carries it, and I think he's got it at the 15-yard line, so just enough.
Yeah, it looks like he picked up plenty for the first down, picked up a whole yard, and that got us down to the 15-yard line.
So that's all we needed
and
now.
The officials is going to come over and talk to Coach Briggs, because I think they're hearing this alarm too, and they don't know what's going on.
So it's going on actually in the building where we're located that overlooks the Cherokee High School field. It's basically a multi-purpose building that they have other uses for during the week. Obviously, this is not a really dedicated press box, so to speak. But there is a lot of noise, and they're telling people to head for the nearest exit, but apparently it's just kind of a false alarm that somebody might have pulled a prank down under us and actually pulled the fire alarm to set this thing off. That appears to be the case. Right now there's a timeout on the field. We're going to break down the line while they get this straightened out, and we'll be back. Stay with us here on the Maroon Devils Network. Fans, welcome back. We're still live here at Cherokee High School, and we have been told that we are supposed to evacuate the press box. Now, so we're going to have to do that, but hopefully we can come back at some point and resume broadcasting. But right now, the officials here in the press box at Cherokee High School have told us we have to evacuate. Hang on, and hopefully we can come back and finish up the game. Maroon Devils down by 1, 14-13, 9:17 to play in the third quarter. We'll try to return as soon as we're allowed to. Thank you. Fans, welcome back. We hope you're listening and also able to watch on the Maroon Devils Network. We apologize for that delay. We'll explain it in just a minute, but we're already ready to go. Damian Lossy under center at the 15, and we hand off. Nice hole for Bryce Swain. He gets about 4 yards. But, Coach, we had what we think is a false alarm here at the press box. Everybody in the press box had to evacuate while they confirmed everything was okay, but looks like we're okay and ready to go.
Yeah.
And we're
I'm
out of breath.
That's four stories worth of. That's twice I've walked up steps now, and that's enough on this old fat man.
Hey, the next time we want to go down, don't we?
Yeah, I want an elevator.
All right, here we go. Back to live action again. 2nd down and 6. Maroon machine at the 11-yard line. And Damian hands off, and Bryce is hit hard as he crossed inside the 10. Going to bring up a 3rd down. But, boy, they really went after him on that play.
Yeah, I believe that was Ian Brooks that time. And because we ran it to this right side, we ran an unbalanced line, and we still couldn't get them all blocked because they're going completely selling out. It's pretty much a 53 look on defense, and when you got your free safety within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage, he's a linebacker. They're just trying to make him an extra linebacker in this whole scheme of things here.
And that's Ty Mintz coming out there as he's playing up near the line of scrimmage. Damian Lossy rolling, firing, got his man, and he dropped it. Oh, right in the hands of Hunter Call. He had to kind of turn around, but it kind of hit him in the hands. There's a late penalty flag that may be for a late hit over here. Let's see what they call this.
I'm not real sure because the flag was late. I couldn't see anybody out there holding, and it looks like some of the Cherokee players are doubting what it was that was called. So we'll see right here what the situation is. He dropped the football, and then he got hit. So I don't know whether he's asking him if he thought it was a late hit, and he threw the flag for it and asking him for his judgment. I'm not sure.
That seems to be the case. And, boy, I thought we had 6 there for a moment, Coach. We had Hunter Call open down here at the 5-yard line and just couldn't come up with the reception. And here's the referee picking up the flag, and it looks like he may wave it off, and he will, so no call.
Yeah, and we had a couple of receivers running open then, but, we got to make those plays right there. That's the kind of play that has to be made if we're going to make this thing go our way. So it's going to bring up 4th and 5 here, and this is a situation where we pretty much going to have to go for it at this distance.
No doubt. At the 10-yard line, 4th down and 5, Damian Lossy just got the play called in. He's ready to go. Split backs right behind him. Twins on the right side. Everybody else in tight. Strong side right. Damian backs off under center, and it looks like we may call a timeout, and Coach Neil Blankenship signals timeout, and we'll keep it right here. We hope you're back with us. We hope Brandon Dehart is back at the station, we hope, running the controls back there, and Joe Holt here with the Maroon Devils Network. But again, we had literally an alarm went off here on the Cherokee press box, which is 4 stories high, and the officials came in and said, this is the first time for us. We don't know the situation, but everybody had to evacuate. The law enforcement and fire department personnel were here. Everybody went out. They checked everything out, Coach, and everything seems okay.
Yeah, they stopped the ball game. The officials even realized that there was a problem, and most of the fans did, but nobody was leaving, so we were the only ones that had to step out of here for a little while till they got it straightened out. The alarm, I think, only occurred in the press box here.
Yes.
So.
And they had to stop the game because if they evacuate the press box, all the PA and clock people, they were out of here so they couldn't run the clock. So everything kind of works together, but we're back ready to go. But right now we are looking